Sean.
And we're assholes watching movies. And this week we've been assholes at the Toronto International Film Festival. Sean and I just got back this morning, I guess, late last night. And we've seen an awful lot of movies. We're in danger of forgetting lots of them if we don't get them committed right away. So here we are.
I already forgot one talking to Sean in the car.
Okay.
I took the whole car ride to remember one.
He came up with it though.
I did come up with it.
Good. Okay, so first things first, what's the best thing you saw at the festival, Matt?
Okay, I'm gonna go with the one I forgot, which is Graduation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is, my favorite I've always been saying was Nocturnal Animals. And then Sean made me doubt myself by asking the question earlier. And I just feel Graduation is just so well done. It's a nice Romanian movie that I saw. And it was so Romanian that it's hard to get like enthusiastic about it because it's just so not very dramatic. It's very just moves along very slowly, but it's like so well done. It's so well shot, and there's none of that. There's nothing fake in it. So I really enjoyed it.
And Sean?
La La Land. No question. That was the best movie I've seen in a long time. And Jay?
Same for me, La La Land. It was so good. I was so emotionally overwrought. I didn't talk about it for 2 days though. That one was really tough on me. I don't think you and I have discussed it yet at all with any success. I was able to kind of relate to Matt a little bit about what I liked about it, but I'm finding it really, really tough because aside from you, I don't know anybody who's seen this movie, and it's the most fantastic thing I've seen at the movies in a long, long time. And it just begs to be discussed, and so it's very hard keeping it all pent up inside.
Until December.
Until December.
We'll have to do half
Like I'm already, we're worried I won't remember by the end of this week all the movies I've seen. As if I'm going to be able to speak. I mean, I'll be happy to rewatch it in December and discuss it then finally.
We'll have to do a whole thing on it in December.
Yes, we'll start working on a musical number for it to open.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
That'll be lovely.
Yeah. Okay, what was the funniest thing you saw? Was it Polish?
Polish. Funniest thing I saw? Wow. I don't see a lot of funny things at TIFF. Probably Tom Ford's Q&A after Nocturnal Animals. Was the funniest thing I saw.
Alright.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sean?
Mascots. Jay?
Well, you and I saw most of the same movies. So.
Yeah, I think Mascots is hilarious. Christopher Guest is awesome. The ensemble cast is incredible. I mean, a lot of them don't even get much screen time because there's just so many characters and there's so much crazy stuff going on. And the best part for me was how committed they were to the practice of mascotry.
Yeah. But you know what? A lot of people's complaint with this movie is the same thing. That they feel like, oh, he went too earnest. He's not making fun of it. He's actually really just appreciating it and has devoted a lot of screen time to the mascot. But you liked it.
I liked that was happening. I thought it was amazing to watch the skits of the snippets of the 4 minute or whatever long they were, and just realize they did that for like all of them, and then they just shot, interspersed it with the story, and I thought that was really cool.
That is a weird criticism, I find.
I know, but I've heard it, and I mean, I agree with Sean. I really liked it. But I don't think Christopher Guest's movies are mean. I don't. I think he always picks this weird little pastime, this weird little thing that people do and get obsessive about. And, he shows us that obsession. And, maybe he's been a little more biting about it before, but I don't think it's ever really been mean-spirited. I don't think he's really truly laughing at the practice or the people.
And he's quite explicitly distanced himself from that idea. In fact, he says he doesn't like the term mockumentary because he's not setting
He's
out
not
to mock
really
anything.
mocking them. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so, for example, Parker Posey plays this dancing armadillo, but it's really kind of like modern dance. The kind of dancing I've never seen from a mascot ever before and have trouble picturing really taking place at a college basketball game. And she, you know, you see her perform this whole number of just like absurdist, well, just, it's a modern dance interpretive thing, and just, it's not overtly funny, it's not like, she's not clowning, but just how earnest it is and how absurd it is, like it builds and builds, and it just becomes funnier and funnier the more you watch this continue. Anyways, that movie worked for me.
And me. And I think, I guess I just thinking about that, I don't understand that criticism when, I mean, Spinal Tap, I think, is very much in the same vein, and that's, I don't know, who doesn't like that movie, and who would criticize Christopher Guest for writing too many real sounding songs to go in with this crazy band that,
I did too good a job.
I guess, yeah, I thought it was great.
I think a surprise runner-up for me was LBJ, which I had no...
Really?
Yes. Clearly my politics, my American politics are shaky. Certainly LBJ I didn't have a strong notion of. But apparently he was a man of huge sense of humor. It's consistently funny.
Yes.
It's consistently funny. Like, it's not a comedy, because it is like a political drama, but he's just such a funny man. And Woody Harrelson does such a good delivery, I think, of being this like imposing figure who's also just really, I mean, he's sarcastic and biting, and
I agree. I actually forgot that we'd even seen that because we've seen too many movies. But yeah, that was consistently funny, and I think I was not expecting that from, I mean, the subject matter alone, of him taking over from JFK, and it doesn't just focus on that. But that's how I know LBJ. I think the movie did a good job too of showing there is more to him than just that.
what we think we know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's Ron Howard, not Ron Howard, Rob Reiner, isn't it?
It is.
Who was very funny in introducing that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, saddest movie for me was Blue Jay. So
Oh no, spoiler alert.
Yes. Well, no, it's not really even that kind of. It's not really spoilery to even say that. I absolutely cried, but it's the kind of movie that's not begging for that. It's not like a big emotional roller coaster kind of movie. It's so quiet, so small, but really finely acted. Sarah Paulson and Mark Duplass. It's very good. But you know, we were having a 4-movie day, back-to-back movies, and we saw that one, and then we ran to see another one, and I hadn't processed it at all. So I cried a bit during the movie, but it wasn't until the car ride back to the hotel that like I just lost it. I just was lost for that whole car ride. I really couldn't take it anymore. It really bubbled up to the surface. So Matt, what did you cry at?
Monster Calls.
Okay.
I cried during it and during the credits, and then leaving the theater, and then walking down King Street, and like crying walking down King Street, the kind where like my body's moving from it, like, and I really catch, be like, okay, I just realized what I'm doing with my face right now. I really need to like get it together. But it's the kind of thing where I almost like just didn't care. It's a very sad movie because the mom dies.
So it's the kind of just spoiler alert at me.
Yeah, no, she dies and it's the monster that kills her. No, it's not. But she, yeah, and I mean, it would be a cop the whole time. She's sick the whole time. And the kid's got to learn how to deal with this idea that his mom is dying. So the movie really has to follow through and kill her. And it is. It's very sad, but it's very beautiful. I think it's a wonderful message for kids. It only occurred to me afterwards reading.
Like your mom might die?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, the kids know that.
Do they? Like I'm gonna tell my 3-year-old 4-year-old nephew would be like, guess what, Ben? Your mommy could die.
Well, I feel like
At any moment.
Yeah, I feel like Disney kills a lot
Do you
of
like your
parents.
mom? Because you might never see her again. And Uncle Matt wants you to know that.
I think it's very important that they know that.
A monster might kill her tonight.
No, well, the monster just helps you deal with it. The monster tells you stories. But it's nice. I mean, Disney kills a lot of parents, but I think this is the one that is most honest and most, you know. I mean, it might not be healthy for kids whose parents are not going to die, but the ones who are like sick, it might actually help a few people. I only realized that it was supposed to be a family movie reading the blurb after when I was trying to write sort of a review of it. I wasn't even thinking of it as a family movie because it really just didn't seem that way when I was watching it. So then afterwards I was like, okay, now I get it.
Okay. Sean, we won't ask you because you're heartless and have no feelings.
No, what happened?
Well, no, you don't. You didn't cry a single tear.
I teared up at all.
You did
A
not.
little bit. I was
You
misty.
you were misty. You were not.
Yes, I was.
No, you just spilled your Coke.
Let's show him a preview for a Monster Balls and see what happens.
And I think I've seen it.
Okay.
We didn't see it. That's the one at TIFF.
Preview.
Oh, the preview. Yeah.
I didn't cry.
No, we didn't.
Actually, I probably didn't. I don't know if I'll cry during a single preview.
Yes. All right. How about bloodiest movie?
Holy crap. Probably the second place would be animated oddly enough. But Headshot, the sort of Indonesian martial arts film from the start of The Raid, outbloodies The Raid by quite a bit. I don't think it's as good as The Raid, but they do, like, it was the midnight crowd that loves that stuff, but occasionally the noises that would come out of the crowd were not necessarily loving it. Like usually they'd be like, ah! But like, sometimes it sounded a little grossed out.
Okay. Sean?
Birth of a Nation. It's like they crammed it all into the last 15 minutes, but it got pretty brutal.
Sean's wrong. The bloodiest thing we saw was Brimstone.
Oh, I forgot about that. It was Brimstone.
Yeah.
I would have been really caught off guard by that because I was not necessarily expecting that from Brimstone.
Oh yeah, it was crazy, like wearing intestines as a scarf.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Why? Who was
Well,
doing
the devil,
He didn't mean to do
Guy
that.
Pearce.
Yeah.
that? Does he play Satan?
Probably
That's
should
debatable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he plays this like sadistic preacher who's like stalking Dakota Fanning. I know, you would not expect Dakota Fanning to be starring in the bloodiest film, but she totally is.
She totally is.
Yeah, I mean, that movie was like super long, like 2.5 hours, close to 3 maybe, of just like, just clobbing you over the head with ridiculous, over the top, spurting blood.
Yes.
Oh.
So it's not just at the end like Revelation?
No.
That was like, it gets started pretty early.
Also, like, it's kind of told in reverse. So really, its end is at the beginning. So it starts off bloody, and then it reverses to show you, oh wait, it's been bloody this whole time. And then it ends with like the final chapter, which is the chapter that technically follows the first chapter, even though it's the 4th. And
Yeah.
that shit is even bloodier. Like, it's relentless. It beats you down. It was a tough one to watch. It reminded me a little bit of watching The Witch at the New Hampshire Film Festival last year. Because I don't do well with scary movies, and The Witch is like the perfect horror movie for me because it absolutely, like, I don't mind the gore. Like, if you're being upfront with the gore, fine, I can deal with it. It's waiting for that to happen, like the creepy, ominous music where you know something's about to happen, but you don't know when, and you're waiting for the jump scare or whatever. I hate that. And The Witch was 90% of that. Like, it really just exists to creep the fuck out. And it did. It really got to me. I thought constantly during that movie that I might just get up and leave. I was really just like trying to convince myself that I had to urgently pee. And this movie was a mix of both. It was creepy and gory and...
But I think they're both your type of movie because they don't have people in them doing stupid things. And I know that drives you crazy. When
No, it's not stupid serial murder that I don't believe. It's, yeah. and maybe a tiny bit supernatural or something. A little bit more
Well, I wish Brimstone had been more supernatural. I was expecting that after the opening, and it never happens. And I think that would have made a little more sense to me, which is weird to say, but I mean, anyway, it was by far the goriest movie that we saw, and I totally forgot about that.
Now I'm completely confused about what Brimstone even is. Like, I feel like it's not the movie that I pictured when I read about it at all.
Well, Dakota Fanning plays this woman who's like a midwife in a
like a pioneer town,
yeah,
19th century.
yeah. She's mute, doesn't speak, but we see the fear in her face when we see a new preacher has arrived in town, played by Guy Pearce.
Yeah, Guy Pearce should have taken me out.
Yeah, he's gives you the shivers. His whole bad. So yeah, so he apparently has been stalking her since childhood. We see in like chapter 2 and 3 or when she's younger, and yeah, it's rough.
So when you say he's a preacher, and the TIFF website was kind of just as vague about it. He's a preacher and he's stalking her. Is he stalking her as a preacher? Like, is it ideological why he like hates her so much, or is he just like a psycho?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. It's both, and we sort of get the sense that maybe he's not entirely human.
Okay.
But again, Sean and I aren't clear, and we're disagreeing a little. Is he more than just an evil man, or we don't really know? And when you watch it, you can tell us what you think.
There's no answers in the movie overtly. So
Yeah, but something seems to carry forward more than just a human would.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rough, man.
Okay.
It's really rough. And that's the thing, is it wasn't part of Midnight Madness, which at least is a tip off, like buckle up. But no, this was just like, oh, we're at Elgin, historic, beautiful Elgin Theater. And yeah.
Was it part of Vanguard? Do you know?
I don't know offhand. Anyways, it was something else. So to get back to La La Land, it wasn't just you and I who thought it was the best, because it was chosen today as the Girl People's Choice Award.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So everybody who goes to TIFF and watches the movies gets to use their movie ticket as a chance to vote for their favorite of the festival. Last year it was Room. So Sean and I got to watch Room and vote for it. We were very pleased because we caught a late screening of it. And that's sort of the like maybe iffy practice at TIFF is they seem to sort of know who's in the lead or who might win, and they start adding extra screenings. So that seems not really fair for like movies that only have 2 screenings at smaller theaters are competing now against bigger movies that have 4 or 5 screenings. So the minute we saw La La Land, and going into the festival, La La Land was way up there as a pick. I really wanted to see it. I knew it was going to be a good one, and it still blew me away with how good it was. So we'd already seen it. But the weird thing to me was that another movie called Lion was getting a lot of buzz. Yeah. And it started to get extra screenings added. And I started to think, is this going to be the people's choice? So Sean and I, on this past Friday, we traded in some tickets because they added screenings of Lion. So we traded in the existing tickets we had to go see Lion.
When did you give up for Lion?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that, and whether or not this was a good decision. But anyways, Lion is based on a book that I had read. So I really enjoyed the book, thought it was a good story. but didn't have super high expectations of the movie. I thought it would maybe good, but I didn't think it would be in the running. So it's Dev Patel and Nicole Kidman and Rooney Mara, and it's about this little Indian boy who gets lost as a child and can't even, pronounce his own name, let alone where he comes from, and isn't able to tell anyone where he's supposed to be. So he ends up in an orphanage and ends up getting adopted by an Australian couple. So goes from India to Australia and is raised there and has kind of a happy life, but in the back of his head, he feels like his birth mother is still looking for him. And so it's 2008-ish, I'll say, around this time, and he uses a new tool called Google Earth because he doesn't know the name of where he's from. All he knows is the radius, in and around Calcutta that he might have come from, and he just starts trolling through India, which is kind of a big country when you're Google Earthing it.
Yeah, he's dealing with a 1,000-kilometer radius because he traveled on a train for 2 to 3 days to get to Calcutta. So it's not a small area that he's looking for.
So we went and saw that, and it was very good.
This was.
Nicole Kidman's very good. Dev Patel is very good. The little kid.
The little kid is amazing.
Oh
He's
my
the
God.
cutest little kid you've ever seen.
Yeah. So it actually is a very good movie, and good for it for finding, because I don't think it had a whole lot of buzz going into the festival. It's not one of the ones people were talking about.
I'm very surprised.
And stuff like Birth of a Nation that, had all the buzz coming out of Sundance, and we did see it, and it was all right. You can check out our review for a more detailed answer to what all right means. But yeah, to see something like this pick up some buzz was kind of exciting. So we did enjoy it. It ended up taking second place in the People's Choice Award.
Oh, I didn't even know that there was they announced second place.
They do. And third was Queen of Cabaret.
Okay.
Yeah. So the tickets we gave up in order to see Lion were the tickets to I Am Not Your Negro, which ended up winning for People's Choice documentary.
Oh, really?
So in order to see the second place, we gave up the first place documentary, but that's okay. We'll see it eventually anyways. Abacus took second place. I know that was on our short list.
That was
and I'm
on
sure
my
it was
list,
on yours
yeah.
as well.
I came pretty close to seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely keep it on our list to check it out in the future. And third place was Before the Flood.
Oh, nice. My parents saw that.
Yes. We never made it. We discussed trying to go to a press screening for it, but we went and saw something else instead. We went and saw LBJ instead, which I can't really regret.
I'm happy with that choice. I thought LBJ was a really good movie. It was better than I was expecting. I enjoyed it a lot.
Me too. And Midnight Madness also gets People's Choice.
Yep.
It was Free Fire.
Okay.
Ben Wheatley's Free Fire.
Yeah, no surprise there, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, and I suppose this is true of any Ben Wheatley, it's always polarizing. Although I think at this point, if you're still going to see Ben Wheatley, then you have to know what you're getting in for. And like, to still come out of there being like, oh, it's, really style over substance, and it's like, you went to see a Ben Wheatley movie, you fucking idiot. Like, what do you expect? So I guess the people who were there for midnight enjoyed it. We missed that one. That was the opening night one. Second place was The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which we all discussed seeing that one. That's the Emile Hirsch.
Yep.
And is it Brendan Gleeson or?
No, it's Brian Cox.
Okay, I think I asked you last time it was Brendan Gleeson too. In my head somehow it's turned into him. So second runner-up for Midnight Madness was Raw. That one that had people fainting in the aisles.
Okay.
Yes. So I don't know if people who were taken out by ambulance voted, but I guess everyone else did.
Wow.
Yeah.
There were actual ambulances and everything.
I think so, yeah.
They gotta call him if someone faints. Doesn't want to get sued.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, so that was it. And then platform prize, which is a jury prize, not a people's choice. Brian De Palma was on the jury this year.
Oh, nice.
They chose Pablo Larraín, director of Jackie.
Okay.
So that one actually comes with a cash prize, like 25 grand or something.
Really?
Yeah. and it was a unanimous decision for them. They thought Jackie was the most deserving. So that's one that Sean and I saw. Going in, I thought it was going to be a really good Natalie Portman vehicle, and it certainly is. It's her best performance since Black Swan. Maybe her best performance, full stop. But it's actually a really good movie. Pablo Larraín was there for Q&A afterwards and talked a little bit about how he came to this movie. He's Chilean, not American, so he knows about JFK the way we do, being Canadian. Like, why do we know JFK? Why do we have streets named after him? Why does he have such an incredible memory, even though he served, 2 years?
2 years.
A really small amount of time, accomplished nothing really of note. I think the only thing I really know he did is Bay of Pigs, which was not really a spectacular success.
Wasn't the moon landing on his watch?
I don't know.
I think so. He certainly kind of took credit for it.
Some space stuff was,
Yes.
but
Yeah, but nothing goes to the moon in 2 years anyways, for sure. So it really, he looked at a lot of historical documents and read about JFK's assassination over and over, and kept reading about where the car turned and which bullet hit the president, and always reading. And his wife Jackie was sitting beside him. And it occurred to Pablo Larraín, what if these documents said he was sitting beside her? Because of course they are not to do with her, they're only to do with him. But he thought, let's take a look at her, because there's a fascinating story there. And this movie is that story. It's almost exclusively maybe a week, the assassination and the hours, days, a week post-assassination. There's a little bit of flashback for context, but it's her story, how she deals with the assassination, which to her is not an assassination, but the tragic death of her husband and the father to her young children. She is homeless, unemployed, she loses everything. And because her husband is president, there's immediately somebody there to sworn in and replace him, which must be a weird thing. And we got to see the overlap because we saw LBJ. So we saw him getting sworn in both movies. There were 2 Jackies, 2 Bobbies, 2 Johns, 2. So I mean, it's really a weird. We really got a bit of a political.
Was there a Jackie in LBJ?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's not there very much, but I mean, obviously they deal with the assassination and him getting sworn in. So there is indeed. But yeah, it's a very good film, and like he said, he took a look at the script and sent it back and say, cut out every scene that doesn't have her in it.
And I thought that's a brilliant move.
Yes.
It really makes the movie. The movie is about her, which can't be an easy thing when you're dealing with JFK looming in the background. But did a great job of keeping.
And he's a little more than a shadow in the film.
Yeah.
It really so much is about her, and it keeps the focus on her, the camera's on her, our feelings and our hearts go out to her. And that said, we spent 2 hours getting to know her, and Pablo Larraín said no matter how much research he's done, she's a mystery.
And
Maybe nobody ever truly knew who she was, at least publicly.
And he conveys that really well in the film. I thought that was one of the takeaways for me. And that's a credit to him for how he structured the film.
Absolutely. Billy Crudup plays a journalist interviewing her to be sort of the first official word post-assassination. And we just see her self-editing so much. She'll recount some juicy story and immediately tell him, of course you can't print that. She has final say on this piece. That's very clear how much she's editing of her story. She knows what legacy she wants to have her husband be left with. So she is steering everything towards that sort of persona, that perception, and she really does have her eye on how history will remember him. And so you have to believe that, I think JFK may be one of the biggest reasons we do remember him is not because he accomplished so much, but because of the hope he really inspired in people at a time when they needed it. And, you know, Peter Sarsgaard plays Bobby Kennedy, and he says, we're the beautiful people. They know that. They know their Camelot sort of place in not just in Washington, but maybe in Hollywood or in the tabloids, or, you know, they had almost American royalty sort of thing going, and they knew that. But I think she worked really hard in those days when she was grieving him to also make sure she established a legacy for him so that he would be remembered. And yeah, I mean, it's very emotional to see that, a little bit jarring to see that, to see all this incredible behind the scenes, you know, how hard she is working and how she does push grief aside sometimes to make those things happen, and faced criticism because of it at times. And yeah, it was a really interesting film, and I'm glad that it got
Yeah,
some
well
recognition.
deserved. I think that's good, and I think it will get more recognition. I think Natalie Portman has to get a nomination for Best Actress. She deserves it. She was really, really good.
Okay, so we saw a lot of movies. There are a lot of celebrities on all the red carpets. Who was your favorite celeb sighting this festival?
Wow. Like the fact that I saw them or what they were like?
Who was your favorite?
I don't know. Oliver Stone was the biggest deal.
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of hilarious how low key he is. I was gonna fall asleep introducing him. Introducing Snowden. So yeah, I mean that was kind of exciting.
Okay. Well, it's funny you say that, because for me, directors really did take center stage as well. I mean, obviously there's a lot of celebrities who, you know, float across the stage in their gowns and their tuxes and stuff, but Sean mentioned Rob Reiner gave just a fabulous introduction to LBJ. He talked about how personal it was for him, you know, as a young man growing up during the administration, how much he hated LBJ because he was the guy who could send them to war.
Yeah.
And just how, you know, he's grown and maybe his perceptions have changed, and maybe this guy was more than just that one stance. And for him to be able to make this movie, which I thought was very, you know, almost an act of forgiveness towards this man who maybe deserves to be remembered as more than just Vietnam. He certainly had a lot of civil rights stuff that he took over from JFK, I guess, inherited, but he made it happen. So that was not just my favorite director introduction of the festival, but the best I've seen at any festival, any time. It was really good. I really, of course, enjoyed seeing Christopher Guest because I think he's amazing. Damien Chazelle gave such a humble little introduction for La La Land that it really, I don't know if he's just maybe a humble guy, or if it hasn't really sunk in that he's like the it guy, but it should. So yeah, we saw a lot of great directors. Maybe my favorite was Werner Herzog.
I love him.
Yes, just because it's like so exciting to hear that voice in person and be like, it's Werner Herzog, just like feet away, just being crazy Werner Herzog, and it was great.
Well, it was great when someone asked him what is his next project, and he listed off about 10 things.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got like 4 trailers out for upcoming movies.
Yes, and he had 2 at the festival.
Yes.
So he's a busy guy, and he totally, I mean, doesn't even seem to think that that's a funny thing.
No.
There you have it. So one of our sort of traditions at TIFF is to play along on TIFF Bingo. You can find that on the TIFF website, a little bingo card of all the things that you could see during the festival. We were there for many days and saw many movies, so definitely we hit bingo a few times over. One thing, surprisingly, we saw 20-something movies, and we did not see Cameron Bailey introduce a single one. Cameron Bailey is like the head programmer at TIFF. And, you know, other years we've seen him over and over and over. This year Sean and I saw him not once.
I saw him do a Q&A after, he was doing the Qs. Yeah, he didn't introduce it. So it was my last movie that he did the Q&A. And he did a good job.
Okay, so he was a little scarcer this time around.
You have to catch him not in a suit for TIFF.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I saw him 3 times because I happened to see him just sort of walking by.
Yeah, you
and
see
they
him
were
around the festival.
always with a suit though.
Okay, so another one is, did you see 3 or more female directors?
I saw at least one female director. It might have been just one female director. And that was the worst movie I saw at the festival. Nothing against like women. But that just, it was, maybe it's more against first time directors because it was her first feature.
Okay.
And I thought she had just some work to do.
Okay. Well, we saw a first time female director, Hope Dixon Leach for The Leveling.
Yeah, that was
And
good.
we really liked that movie.
Okay.
But we did see 3 female directors.
Who else?
We saw Bronwyn Hughes. She did The Journey is the Destination.
Okay.
And Lone Scherfig, I may not be saying that correctly, but she did Their Finest.
Oh,
Okay.
that was good.
That was good. Yeah.
Bill Nye really makes that movie. If you have ever liked Bill Nye in anything, you should see that. Their Finest. It's a really classic performance by him.
Mm-hmm.
I had it in my head that Stephen Frears did Their Finest for some reason.
Not sure. Yeah. So another one is to satisfy your CanCon requirement. So, we're really big on Canadian content. Did you see any Canadian directors? I know you did, in fact, but...
I saw one Canadian film, so that's definitely a Canadian director. I may have even seen Canadian directors working in the US without realizing it. In fact, I suspect that, I have a feeling that one of the guys that directed Amanda Knox might have mentioned they're Canadian, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, no, I saw a Canadian film called Hello Destroyer. He's got a weird name like, Funk is his last name.
Okay.
You saw another Canadian movie.
What was the
By Xavier Dolan?
Oh yeah, Xavier Dolan, yes.
No, Xavier Dolan.
What's his name? Xavier Dolan.
Yeah.
That's true. I forgot about that
Yeah, Sean and I didn't get to see It's Only the End of the World by Xavier Dolan, which is too bad because I would have liked to, but Matt got to see it.
I got to see it, and I liked it very much.
Good.
It was either the second or third best movie I saw at the festival.
Wow.
And I'm a little disappointed to see that it's not getting great reviews, despite being apparently quite, popular at the Cannes Film Festival.
Mhm.
On Metacritic, it's currently got a score like 48, which isn't necessarily the score you want if you're a movie on Metacritic. It's like right now it's a few scores ahead of Suicide Squad. So it hurts. But I don't know if maybe for me it's like the kind of Xavier Dolan movie that I want to see, because Mummy annoyed me a little bit at times. So I don't know, for some people it might not be Xavier Dolan enough for them, whereas for me, this is kind of what I'm comfortable with. It's a little bit less self-indulgent. It's still kind of weird, but it's, because it's self-contained. It's all like, he comes home for lunch to see his family, to kind of break the news to them that he's dying. And I won't tell you if he dies at the end or not.
He does, that was a monster.
Yeah, that monster made a lot of appearances in a lot of films. Yeah, so I mean, there's only so much you could do. He is a huge fan of playing the whole song though. He did play a lot of the whole songs in this one.
If he's gonna pay for that song, he's gonna play it start to finish.
Yes, he does. And actually, there were some cool scenes of it just playing in say, on her CD player in her room when they're having a conversation, and it'll play over the whole time. But he is also a fan of stopping the narrative just to play a song he likes. So he did a little bit of that. But yeah, some recognizable French actors in it this time, like Léa Seydoux and Marion Cotillard, I must have known that. Vincent Cassel, who was a volatile guy in like everything.
Everything.
Yeah, there was like a moment when you first see him in this at first where I'm like, okay, this is gonna be playing against type. He's not really getting too upset. But no, everyone gets very upset all the time in this. But yeah, actually Marion Cotillard was fantastic in it, I thought.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, not that I needed another reason to watch that one, but I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
So, Sean, as for our Canadian directors, I already gave one away, Bronwyn Hughes.
We saw Denis Villeneuve,
We did.
Arrival,
We
which
did
was
Arrival.
great.
Fantastic.
Really good movie.
Yeah.
Different sort of alien invasion movie than we're used to, and
Yeah.
much more subtle and interesting, I
With
think.
a kick-ass lead female.
Amy Adams.
Yeah. And
We saw another one.
we did. Philippe Falardeau did The Bleeder.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is he the one that did Monsieur Lazare?
He did a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Including this, I think, yes, I must have told you, Sean and I got to see 2 boxing movies.
Yeah.
So the other one was Bleed for This with
Mhm.
Miles Teller.
Mhm.
This one, The Bleeder, I'm gonna mix those up. The Bleeder was Lev Schreiber and Naomi Watts and Elizabeth Moss, who is really terrific, actually. I mean, Lev Schreiber was too. They're pretty different.
Yes.
One is, you know, an underdog story, the other is more of like a comeback. Both inspired by real boxers. So yeah, it was kind of, we saw a lot of inspired by true event movies. We saw a lot of those, I have to say. That was probably our number one.
What was our number one category?
Mhm.
Not even close, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was our festival, I guess, in a nutshell. Last thoughts?
Well, the only thing that I saw that I really, really loved that I didn't get to mention was my entire high school is sinking into the sea. I won't like get into it here, but you should go see it. It's wonderfully weird.
Did you guys see anything wonderfully weird?
Wonderfully weird.
Well, Salt and Fire.
Well, that was
That
weird.
was weird. We also saw Terrence Malick.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Was
was.
that wonderful or weird?
It's pretty straightforward for Terrence Malick. Like all things considered, it's probably.
I
the
mean,
movie-
straightforward. It's not straightforward. It's supposedly a documentary. Really, it's like a screensaver. It's what like an IMAX, a 45-minute long screensaver. Like, ooh, beautiful images.
With poetry by Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
voiceover.
Yes.
It's probably the movie that Terrence Malick was born to make.
That's right. Just get rid of any hint of plot. Just
it
go
doesn't sound like
straight to the sun flares.
Yeah.
And
You cut it down, just give us 45 or 50 minutes of it.
In fact,
That's
this
enough.
might secretly be the Tree of Life, just without people.
Yeah. It
Like,
doesn't
maybe
sound
we
like
should
the
rewatch
movie
it.
that Brad Pitt is going to make. I'm kind of glad they replaced him with Kate Blanchett
But they didn't replace it, just in the longer version.
in the longer version.
Yeah, there's an hour and a half version that Kate Blanchett narrates, and then the 45 IMAX version, Brad Pitt narrates.
See it in IMAX.
Don't see it at all. Okay, I guess that's it from TIFF. Have a good week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.